In 1963, my father learned in Yeshivas Pressburg. Now, I heard the story 100 times from my dad, and the story is going around now on Yeshiva World News. Anytime I would drive with my father, and he would sit next to me, I would be the driver. Now, anybody that drives with me has a similar reaction, but not like this. He's like literally white-knuckled, holding on to the dashboard, turning the dashboard, thinking that he could control the car. Like, Abba, what's going on? And he'd tell me the story. Basically, in 1963, he was in Pressburg Yeshiva, and they went on a tiyul. It was the first trip in 150 years for Yeshivas Pressburg. And they decided to go to the Mekayim Zakdoshim. They went to different kfarim, and they went to Kever Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, and they were in, no, not Reb Shimon. I don't think so. It's Pressburg. Yeah, maybe. And they were in one of these buses. They have some of them left in Eretz Yisrael, but mainly the Arabs use them today. It looks like a truck. It's a cab in the front, and then there's a box in the back, and the driver and the people in the back are not connected at all. It's like a truck with a bunch of windows on the side. And they were driving through the curvy roads, and they were singing Al Tiro Mepachat Pisoim. When suddenly the truck flew off the mountain, and a terrible tragedy happened. 3 of the Bachrim got killed, including the driver, so there's 4 people that died. My father was in the truck. He was thrown out of the truck. He went rolling down the mountain. He couldn't feel his legs, and then he saw the part of the truck coming towards him. He thought it's all over. A whole maisa how he ended up running away out of fear. He just got up, picked himself up, started running down the highway, got a tramp to somewhere else. They didn't know where he was. My grandmother thought he died because she heard about the story. It was in the news, and she knew her son was on the truck, and they didn't know where Yankel Stefanski was. But he got money, and there's a guy in Tzferi gave him money, and he took a bus, and he walked all the way to Rechav Rabbi Akiva. And when we got to Rechav Rabbi Akiva, this guy, Mr. Schwartz, says, Yingele, why are you walking with one shoe? So he told him, my shoe got lost in an accident. He says, you look like an idiot walking with one shoe. Take off the other shoe. So he walked like that. Then Rechav Rabbi Akiva said, could I walk with you? Yeah. And when they got to the Rechav Rabbi Akiva 111, he told my father, stand outside here, wait here for a minute. And he walked inside, and he walked into my grandmother's house, and they're all crying and screaming, and Yankel died in the accident. He said, no, I have news for you. He's still alive. He's right here. Told him nice and slowly, and then my father came in. Fine. What happened is, the reason why the story is going around now is because, and my father told me this part of the story as well, one of the people that died in the accident was Mordechai Falk. And Mordechai Falk had a chavrusa, Zev Feldman, who today is a Rav in Stamford Hills. You know him? He's a Rav in England. And Zev Feldman was very, very distraught. He also got injured. He was in the hospital, Zev, and he was very distraught about it. I have the article that we have from Shpacha from that day that it happened. So Zev he was upset. How could his chavrusa, such a masmid, a big masmid, young kid, get killed like that? He's very, very upset. And he said, Hashem, I want a sign, I want something. And Zev says that Mordechai Falk came to him in a dream and said, don't worry about me. Over here, everything's good. I'm very happy. And I'm learning with Rashi, because I do Shnayim Mikra of Echad Targum with Rashi on Fridays. I'm sitting with Rashi. Everything's good. That's the end of that's what my father told me. The rest of the story is that they're saying now, and I think it's in the Archwell book, is that he said, since we went to Reb Shimon Bar Yochai's kever, we're learning with Rashbi and Shemayim. So that we have to be mevar, because my father, I communicated with him yesterday. I said, do you remember that? He says, no, that part I don't know about. I know the Rashi part. So Zev Feldman wasn't happy with this dream. He said, it's a dream. Maybe who's going to believe me? Maybe I was imagining it. Maybe deja vu, whatever. I need another sign. So this Mordechai Falk comes to him in a dream and says, I know you think you need another sign. I'll tell you the sign. You're going to get engaged to a girl, something ben Reb Shimon. I have the name down here. Whatever the name is. He told in a few weeks, in 7 weeks, Dvair Bas Shimon. And you should know that Dvair Bas Shimon has an uncle who's still alive, but the family thinks he died in the war. Sure enough, of course, he gets engaged. And at the Vard, he walks over to his future father-in-law and says, you have any brothers? Yeah, I have a brother, but one of them got killed in the war. So he tells him, he says, yeah, not so posh that he died in the war. I think he's still alive. The guy's like, wacko! Well, sure enough, a few weeks later, there's a telegram. The guy was in Russia. He survived, and he couldn't believe it. Okay, so that's the Maisa, but it's to give it a chama to the families that if that part of the story is true, that they went to Reb Shimon Bar Yochai's kever, that part is true. I know that they went to Reb Shimon Bar Yochai's kever, that he's learning with Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. So it should be an chama for the family.